Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. Luke is with me today. I have Boo Boo on my lap. He's on my lap pretty much, I would say, every time I'm sitting down, pretty much. But anyway, he's still hanging in there. He's still eating, and he's not eating a lot, but he's eating some, so that's good news. But I found out this week that Fancy Feast, Purina Fancy Feast, has discontinued his favorite food, so that's really bad news. And I know what you're saying. You're probably saying, well, that's not the best food for him, but you know what? At this point, I'm going to give him whatever he wants because he's very, very finicky. It's really difficult to get the calories into him, but I'm doing the best I can. His other favorite is Shiva pate. He likes that one as well. But anyway, I went on a hunt for new cat food today. So I went from pet store to pet store looking for something different for him, something that he might like. Now my other cat Lulu has no problem at all. She loves to eat everything pretty much. And one of these days I'm going to have to introduce you to her. I know I've shown her on film before, but not close up like this. And I know you didn't come here to talk about cats. You came here to learn how to make that beautiful multi-strand necklace that you saw in the intro. And it's a Bohemian-style necklace for those of you who like that. I was poking around the other day looking at jewelry trends, and the multi-strand Bohemian-style necklace is still very trendy. I know for sure wearing lots of layers is definitely very trendy. So anyway, guys, we're going to be using the beads that came in Bargain Bead Box for the month of November. And I know I'm late, but you know what they say, it's better late than never. And here in the United States, it's not wintertime yet. And I know the November collection was full of fall colors. So anyway, guys, I do want to mention about what happened when I was filming, because you might hear a bunch of emergency vehicles during the tutorial. And you may think, well, geez, I must live in a crime-ridden area, and I really don't. But what happened the other night as I was filming, there was an explosion about 2 miles from where I live. I'm sure you heard about it in the news. Basically, a house exploded, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but there was somebody in there shooting flare guns. So anyway, you might hear some sirens during the video, but don't be alarmed because I do live in a very nice area. So anyway, guys, I'm very excited to show you how to make this beautiful multi-layer necklace. So let's go ahead and get started. And here we have Bargain Bead Box for the month of November. The name of this collection is Cozy Chrysanthemums. And actually, guys, I have not received the December collection just yet. I'm not sure if any of you have received it, but I was anxious to make something with Bargain Bead Box this week, so I thought I would use the November beads. As you can see, it comes in a beautiful organza bag, which you can use for either storing these beads or for gift giving. That's one of the things I like to do. I like to put my jewelry in organza bags. Sometimes it's a little bit easier than using wrapping paper. Plus these bags are so big, you can put all kinds of items in there. You can put necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and maybe some candy as well. So anyway, since it's so late, I'm not going to do a detailed unbagging of these contents, but I do want to take them out and give you a quick peek. We're going to take a quick peek and then we'll make something with the contents. So let me go ahead and arrange everything on my mat and I'll be right back. And here are all the contents of the bag. Obviously these are fall colors, but since we have a little bit of red, you can definitely make some Christmas pieces. Plus look at these two. These are so beautiful. They're small enough to be charms, but they're listed as pendants. Of course, if you're into the dainty trend, you could definitely use one of these in a necklace. But these definitely have a Christmas vibe, as you can see. They're called enameled chrysanthemum pendants. But anyway, guys, look at all these gemstones. We have some 6mm Mookaite beads, and they're in a matte finish. And here we have some larger ones in a glossy finish. We have some Crackle Agate beads here in a beautiful golden color. And these beads are fossil coral beads, which I absolutely love. I love the neutral colors of that gemstone. And of course, we have some sparkly crystals. We have these large ones here, which are half matte and half clear, with a gorgeous coating, as you can see. I think it's called Slate Peacock. And then we have these red rondelles. I love that deep red color. And over here we have some bicones in a lavender color. And then we have these tiny ones here as well in a golden color. Actually, these are quartz crystals, but they're very tiny. That's one of the things I love about Bargain Bead Box. They give you a wide range of sizes, which I really do appreciate. And look at this, guys. Look at this gorgeous pendant. Now the description did list that it's either Mookaite or carnelian, so I'm not sure which one this one is. I think this one might be Mookaite because I'm seeing a little bit of yellow, but it's beautiful anyway. I love it. It's nice and thin too. And then we have these very interesting components. Look at this. Aren't these gorgeous? These are so pretty. There are so many possibilities with this kind of component with all those petals and that open design. I love it. And there are two of them, as you can see. So if you wanted to make earrings, you could. And then we have these over here. I really like these as well. These are so pretty. Each one has two loops, one at the bottom and one at the top. I like these as well, these pendants. And I've actually seen these somewhere before, but I don't recall where. These are so beautiful. I love the colors. And then we have some clasps here. These are magnetic clasps. So that's really cool, and they're nice and big. Of course, they stick into each other because they're magnetic. And here we have some chain as well. They always include chain. And I'm looking at the description, and it actually shows that these two are 18 karat gold plated. And so are these right here. So that's really nice that they include high-end metals. And I believe these are hematite beads. Hematite spacer beads. But I think they're synthetic hematite beads. In any case, I think they're really pretty as well. Very unusual looking. So anyway, guys, that's a quick peek at the November collection. Like I said, I'll leave some information down below along with a link to the website and a coupon code in case you're interested. The coupon code is for a $2 discount off your first shipment. Another thing to keep in mind if you're a subscriber is that you'll get 30% off their sister site, Bead Box Bargains. And every time you receive a bag, you'll get a coupon code for that particular month. And guys, let me tell you, it's a real bargain because their prices are already low, and then you add the 30% discount, and it's a really great deal. So now that I've given you a little glimpse of this collection, we're going to get started with today's project. As you know, the necklace has 3 layers. We're going to start with the longest layer, or the longest tier. So let me get the beads for that. Here are the items for the first layer of the necklace. Like I said, it's going to be the longest layer. And I'm thinking it should be something like 24 inches or maybe 22 inches, something like that. That's going to be up to you to decide. Everybody has different tastes. But anyway, for this necklace, we're going to use 8mm size Mookaite beads. And these are my 6mm Crackle Agate beads. And I have this beautiful Mookaite pendant, which measures 33mm. And I believe it's from the loop down. I could be wrong. I also have some jump rings here. They're 5.5mm across. And these are actually gold plated. They're from my stash, which is why I like using them. And here I have some chain. And this chain is actually from my stash as well. I didn't use the chain that came in the collection because I felt it was a little bit too yellowish. This one's more of a champagne gold. And it's unfortunate because the chain that came with the collection had links that were soldered links, which is always a good thing, but I just didn't like the yellow color. But you can certainly use it if you want to, and I think it would look just fine. But one of the deciding factors is that I want to use this component here for one of the layers of the necklace. And this component is 18 karat gold plated, so it's not that bright yellowish gold metal. And I felt that this chain coordinated better with this component. Let me just show you what I mean. Here's the chain that came with the collection. As you can see, it's a lot more yellow than that gold. And I want to mount that on chain, so I didn't want the chain to be really yellow compared to the color of that metal. I hope that makes sense. But like I said, you can certainly use it if you want to. Another thing that I did is I selected my Mookaite beads, and I selected all the red ones, as you can see. As you know, Mookite's primarily red and a golden yellow, and here are the yellow ones. So I did not select any of these. And that's because I'm making beaded components that include these little agate ones. So I wanted contrasting colors. But again, you don't have to be that specific. You can certainly use the yellow ones if you want to. In addition to these items, I'm going to be using some craft wire. And this is 20 gauge craft wire, and it's in a gold color, as you can see. And it's tarnish resistant. You can use any brand. I'm not particular about the brand, but I do like using tarnish resistant wire. So we're going to get started. I've cut myself a long piece of wire. I like to work with long pieces of wire because I'm in a nice wastage. With my flat nose pliers, I'm going to grab the end at about 3/8 of an inch down, something like that. And I'm going to bend it, creating a 90-degree bend. And now with my round nose pliers, I'm going to grab the end, making sure it's flush. You don't want it sticking out between the barrels. And now I'm simply going to turn my pliers to create a loop. You want to make sure your loop is closed, and you want to make sure it's centered. So now I'm going to load a bead like that. And now I'm going to grab the wire right above the bead, leaving a little bit of space, turn the bottom loop, bend it, snip off the excess, leaving 3/8 of an inch again. Grab the end with my round nose pliers, make sure it's flush, and create a loop. You want to make sure your loop is centered and closed. The other thing I like to do is to line up my loops. So I'm going to grab this loop with some pliers and grab the other one with another set and make sure they're lined up, just like that. So there's my first beaded component. And now I'm going to create another one using one of the small beads. It's the same thing. I'm grabbing the wire 3/8 of an inch down, bending it. I'm grabbing the end with my round nose pliers, making sure it's flush. Create a loop. Make sure it's closed. Load a bead. Grab the wire right above the bead. Bend it. Snip off the excess, leaving 3/8 of an inch. Grab the end again. Create a loop. Let me make sure it's centered. And now let me line up my loops. And there's my second beaded component. And that's all there is to it, guys, as far as this step is concerned. I'm just going to keep creating beaded components, and I'm going to do it off camera to save time. And then when I come back, we'll connect everything. So I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I built all of my beaded components, and I went ahead and connected one of the strands. There's a total of 5 8mm size beads and 10 of the 6mm beads. And I used this pattern. I started with a 6mm bead, then an 8mm bead, a 6mm, a piece of chain, and I repeated the same thing all the way down. And I pre-cut my chain, as you can see. Each one of these has 4 links, and it measures about 5/8 of an inch. And I don't think I mentioned how big the links are. They're actually 3.5 by 5.5 millimeters. So you're going to have to take that into account when you choose your chain. And by the way, you can have longer segments of chain if you want to. It's completely up to you. It all depends on what kind of look you're shooting for. Adding the chain spreads out the beads a little bit, and it makes it a little bit more delicate looking. And this is very simple, guys. I'm simply going to open up this loop like this, take a beaded component, connect it, close up the loop, and now I'm going to open up this one, take another beaded component, slide it in, close it up, and now I'm going to open up this loop, take a piece of chain, slide the first link on like this, and close it up. And that's basically how I'm going to do the whole thing. And by the way, this length measures about 11.5 inches, which is fine because by the time we add the jump rings and everything, it's going to add to the overall length. So let me keep connecting these. So now I've connected all the components and pieces of chain. So now we're going to connect the pendant, and here it is. Isn't this beautiful, guys? Look at this. Look how pretty this pendant is. It's so beautiful. I love it. And here I have 2 jump rings. One is 4mm in size and the other one is 5.5mm in size. Let me go ahead and open up the small one. And I believe these are 20 gauge. I'm going to slide the pendant onto it like this. And now I'm going to slide this jump ring onto it as well. And close it. Let me just make sure this jump ring is closed properly. And now I'm going to go ahead and connect one of these strands. So I'm going to open up this loop, slide it onto the large jump ring, like this, and close it. And now let me open up this loop. And slide it onto the same jump ring. and close it. So this necklace is done, and you could make this one a single necklace if you wanted to. All you would do is attach a clasp on one strand and a jump ring on the other one, and you're done. But today we're going to make a multi-strand necklace. So let's move on to the next necklace now. Let me get the materials for that. We're going to start by assembling the pendant, and these are the materials we're going to use for the pendant. I have the gorgeous wreath link. It measures 31 by 24 millimeters, and it's 18 karat gold plated. We actually received 4 of these in the Bargain Bead Box. Let me give you a close-up. Isn't that beautiful? It's so pretty. I'm not sure if my camera's focusing properly, but as you can see, it's decorated with leaves, and it has 2 loops, one at the top and one at the bottom. And I have 2 beads here. The large one is a faceted rondelle in the color dark red. It measures 8 by 6 millimeters. And this one here is a quartz rondelle. It's faceted and it measures 4 by 3 millimeters. And here I have a flat head pin. So let me show you how to do this. I'm going to load the bead on first, the large one, and then the small one, like that. And now we're going to create a simple loop, just like we did with the first tier. So I'm going to grab the pin right above the beads like this, leaving a little bit of space, bend it, cut off the excess, leaving 3/8 of an inch. Grab the end with my round nose pliers, making sure that it's flush, and I'm going to create a loop. And this is a very tough head pin, I can tell by the resistance. And again, you want to make sure it's centered and closed, like that. So now I'm going to open it up, slide it into the loop of the pendant like this, and close it. And how simple was that? Very simple. So now let me get the materials for the rest of the necklace. Here are the beads we're going to be using for this next step. Now these 2 are from my own stash, but these are from Bargain Bead Box. These are the faceted quartz rondelle beads, and they measure 4 by 3 millimeters. And these red ones are just plain round glass beads, and I have no idea where I got them from. I've had them in my storage for about at least, I want to say 3 years. But anyway, they measure 4 millimeters in size. And these are faceted crystal rondelles. They measure 4 by 3 millimeters, just like these. And I think I got them at Beadbox Bargains quite a while ago, which is the sister site to Bargain Bead Box. So I don't think you'll find them there because it's been a while. But if you do a Google search, you might be able to find them. The color is matte copper, but they look more bronze to me than anything else. Now for this necklace, we're going to do some crocheting. It's been ages since I've crocheted, guys. I think the last time I did any kind of crocheting was during my 2nd pregnancy, which was ages ago. But I still remember how to do it. I'm going to be using some nylon cord, and I got this on Amazon. And it's 0.5 millimeters thick, and the color is burley wood, in case you're interested. It's a very neutral color. And I'm going to be using a very small crochet hook. It's the 1 millimeter size. Now to get started with this, you have to load the beads onto your nylon cord. And I'm going to be working directly from the spool, so I'm going to put the spool down to the side. And to get these beads onto this very thin nylon cord, I'm going to use a needle and thread. And I've done this before many times. I usually do this whenever I'm trying to put beads back on a strand. As you can see, I created a loop with some fire line. You just need a small amount, and then you knot it off like that. I'm going to slide the cord through the loop like this. And I'm simply going to pick up the beads. Now you can use a big eye needle if you want to. But I find this to be very easy. As you can see, the beads slide right onto the cord. So I'm just going to load the beads in this order. I'm starting with one of the bronze ones or copper ones, and then a red one, and then one of the yellow quartz. Like this. And I'm just going to keep loading them in this order. And this necklace is going to be about 18 inches long, I think. Maybe a little bit less. I recommend that you load between 70 and 80 beads for an 18-inch necklace. And if you don't use all of them, it's not a big deal, but it's better to have more than not enough. Of course, it depends on how thick your cord is and how big your crochet chain loops are. Okay, as you can see, I've loaded all the beads, and I believe there's about 70 or so. And as you can see, I have not cut the cord from the spool just yet. I'm going to keep it on there the whole time, but I do want to move it out of the way, so let me just move it to the left a little bit. So let me show you how to start this. You need to leave yourself about 6 inches before you start. And I just have it draped over my finger like this, and here's the tail. Now this is how I start, guys. It may not be the correct way, but this is how I've been doing it my entire life. I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go underneath like this, turn it this way, so one full turn towards me, go underneath this way, underneath the cord, and now I'm going to pull it through the loop, just like that. And I'm going to do about, I want to say maybe 6, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me just pick it up again. So there's 6 of them. And now I'm going to slide a bead down. Just like this. You want it to be very close to your loop. And now I'm going to go underneath like this and pull it through. And do 1 crochet chain stitch and slide the next bead down. So once again, I'm going to go underneath the cord like this. Make sure that bead is down near the loop. I like to hold onto the bead with my finger like this. And I'm going to take the cord and pull it through the loop. Just like that. So again, go underneath and do 1 crochet chain stitch, or 1 loop, whatever you want to call it. And now I'm going to slide the next bead down like this, go underneath like this, and pull it through. Crochet 1 stitch, slide the next bead down, go underneath, and pull it through. Crochet 1, slide the next bead down, go underneath, and pull it through. And this is what you end up with. So let me do a few more. Crochet 1, go underneath, and pull it through. Crochet 1, slide the bead down, go underneath, and pull it through. Crochet 1 stitch, slide the next bead down, go underneath, and pull it through. It's very quick and easy. And I'm not going to do the entire length on camera because I don't want to make this video too long, but I do want to give you one tip though. Let me just lengthen this loop. You do want to give it a little stretch as you go along because the nylon cord does stretch a little bit. And also by stretching it, it straightens out a little bit because there are times when it does curl up. But that's all there is to it. It's very easy. Another little tip, it's a good idea to maintain a little bit of tension. So in other words, you don't want to unwind the cord too much and have it be real loose. It's easy if you maintain a little bit of tension here. So anyway, guys, I'm going to keep crocheting these beads until I get the length that I want, and I'll see you in a few moments. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I've crocheted my beads. I still need to create some chain stitches at this end, just like I did here. But anyway, I didn't use all the beads. I still have some left over, as you can see. So before I cut the cord, I'm going to create those stitches. Let me go ahead and put my crochet hook in, tighten up this loop. And I'm going to do 6 of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut my cord, leaving about 6 inches worth. Now to finish it off is very easy. I'm going to take the tail and go through the loop like this and pull. And that creates a little knot. It doesn't get any easier than that. Now I am going to do a second knot. So I'm going to go around like this. Take the tail and go through the loop. I have my tweezers here. You can use pliers if you want to. I'm going to go through the loop like this and grab the cord right where the other knot is, like this. Pull the tail. And now I'm going to slide it down. So that's what you should have. Let me do the same thing at this end. So now this end is done. And I did stretch it. Like I said before, you need to stretch it because it's going to stretch anyway when you wear it. So now we're going to attach a clamshell cover to the ends. And that's very easy to do. I have 2 of them here. Let me show you what they look like. As you can see, they have a hook, which I'm going to curl over once I close it, and it has a hole through the bottom there. I like to use this kind because that metal part is very thick and it won't slide through the gap of a jump ring. I have 2 crimp beads here. They're the round crimp beads. They're not the tubes. I'm going to be squashing them, so it really doesn't matter. So let me go ahead and show you. The first thing I want to do is to kink this loop back a little bit, like this. And I'm going to open up the clamshell just a little bit to make it easier. And now I'm going to slide the cord through the bottom like this. Pull it through. Pick up a crimp bead. Bring it down. So that's what we have so far. And now using some chain nose pliers, I'm going to reach in here and grab that crimp bead the best way I can. Let me see if I can do it. And before I squash it, I'm going to grab the cord and pull it. And I'm going to go ahead and squash that crimp bead. Let me do it from this angle now, because I want to make sure that it's nice and squashed. And now let me test it. It's on there really good, guys, so you shouldn't worry about it. You can put a little bit of glue in there if you want to, but I'm not going to do it. So now using some flush cutters, I'm going to cut off the excess. And let me close up this clamshell. As you can see, you get a nice professional finish, which I really like. So now I'm going to create a loop. So I'm going to grab it with my round nose pliers, like this, and create a loop. And you do want to make sure that the loop is nice and closed. And that's all there is to it. So let me do this side now. Okay, both ends are crimped off, and here's my pendant. And I have another 5.5mm jump ring. So now I need to find the center of the necklace. That's the center. Let me open up this jump ring. Slide the pendant onto it. And now I'm going to slide it into this gap here between these two beads and close it up. Isn't that adorable? I really love it. Now, if you wanted to, you could just make this a single necklace. It doesn't have to be part of that layered set. So then you would add some jump rings and a clasp and you'd be done. I like to do that sometimes because I like to have the option of wearing one necklace or multiple necklaces, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to make a multi-strand necklace for those of you who like that. So now we're going to move on to the third necklace, which is the shorter one of the three. So let me get the materials for that. Here are the materials for the third necklace. This is a gorgeous pendant. Let me show you. Look how beautiful that is. It is so beautiful. We received 2 of them in the Bargain Bead Box. It's a chrysanthemum link. Boy, that's a difficult word to pronounce. But anyway, it measures 30mm across and it's 18 karat gold plated. And here I have a 4mm size jump ring and I have a 16-inch piece of chain. And again, that's something you're going to have to decide. You may need something longer or shorter. So the first thing we need to do is figure out the center of this chain. I've got a piece of wire here. I'm just going to thread it through one of the links. And now I'm going to slide it through this other link at the other end and find the center. Let me just let it hang. And I believe this is the center link right here. So now I'm going to open up this jump ring. Connect it to the chain. And now I'm going to slide one of these petals onto it as well. Just like that. And now let me close it. This is super easy. I wish all the necklaces were this easy. But there it is. Isn't that pretty? I think it's beautiful. And again, if you wanted to wear this one by itself, you would just connect a jump ring and a lobster clasp and you're done. But now we're going to go ahead and connect all 3 necklaces. And I'm going to use these Terra cast components. These are 3-to-1 components, which means you can connect 3 strands of these loops here and then either a clasp or another piece of chain of the top loop. And I'm so sad that Terra Cast is no longer manufacturing these components because they really are good quality. So let me get the other 2 necklaces. Here's one of them. And here's the other one. There's so much going on here, I'm definitely not going to be able to fit everything within the frame, but I'll do the best I can. I have some tiny 4mm jump rings here. There's a total of 6. So let me go ahead and open one up. And now let me connect this one first. I'm going to slide the last link into the jump ring like this. And now I'm going to connect it to this component. So there it is. So now let me go ahead and close it. Let me move this out of the way. And now I'm going to connect this one. I'm going to open up this jump ring. connect it to one of these ends. Like that. And now I'm going to connect it to the middle of the 3 loops. And close it up. So now let me open up another jump ring. They're so tiny it's difficult to hold on to them. And I'm going to go ahead and connect the long necklace now to the loop just like this. And now to the component. Let me close it. So here are all 3 connected. Let me just make sure I don't get all tangled up here. I'm going to go ahead and open up a jump ring and connect these 3 strands to the component. Let me just make sure it's not all twisted up. And I should have checked the long one as well, but I'm going to do that in a few moments. You want to make sure those links are sitting nice and flat. And it's a little difficult because these are twisted links, but you really should check it to make sure that the chain isn't all twisted up. And that's good enough. So now let me close it. Now before I attach the clasp, I'm going to take this to the mirror to check the length of these 3 necklaces. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I know you can't see the whole thing, but don't worry because I'll arrange the entire necklace on my board once we attach the clasp. But I'm pretty happy with the lengths. And I did end up removing a few links from that top chain. Sometimes that happens even after I've determined how long each one should be, because once you connect everything and hold it up to your chest, everything hangs differently. So that's what I recommend you do. Here are 2 jump rings. They're 6 millimeters in size. And here's a clasp. It's a lobster clasp. And this is very easy, guys. I'm just going to open up this jump ring. Connect the clasp. And I'm going to connect it to this end. Let me close it. So that's what it looks like. And now let me open up this one. And I'm going to connect it to this side. Just like that. Let me close it. So this necklace is finished. Let me go ahead and arrange it. So here's my multi-strand boho necklace, and I think it's really gorgeous. It's definitely over the top, so if you're one of those people that likes the dainty style, then this is probably not for you. But actually, it's very trendy to wear multi-strand necklaces like this. But anyway, let me slide my board down so you can see the top. There's the top. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Like I said, if you didn't want to have a multi-strand necklace like this, you could make 3 separate necklaces and you could wear whichever one you want to depending on the occasion. I'm a big fan of that, so I might end up separating them. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and model it for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day and I'll see you next time. Bye.